All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Wosu, and we're really excited about today. We have our third Snapchat of Future Month, and we are going to be talking today with Miss Dr. Mirna Wynn, and she is a school counselor at Hillgrove High School, which is in West Cobb. So, welcome, everyone. We're glad that you're here. And Dr. Wynn, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Everybody, good morning. Hope everybody is wonderful. I am Dr. Wynn. I am a school counselor at Hillgrove High School in West Cobb. I have been a school counselor for the past 10 years. I started at a middle school and actually middle school, and then I went on to high school. I am actually a graduate of Cobb County. I graduated from Campbell High School. I went to Griffin Middle School, and I went to Brown Elementary, which is now no longer there, but a long time ago. So I went to Brown, to Griffin, and to Campbell High School, and now I'm here. So I have a big family. I love it. My parents are divorced, but I together there's 10 of us. My dad has 5 boys with his wife, and my mom has 1 boy. And my mom and dad, there's 4 of us. It's a big family, and I love it. And they are at my brothers went to Osborne. My other brother went to Kennesaw Mountain. So we're all just all over Cobb County.
Cool. And I'm definitely a graduate of Cobb Schools as well, product of our wonderful school system. And I'm wondering what made you decide to come back?
Honestly, what made me decide to come back to Cobb County is I wanted to give back to my community. I, I love my heritage. I love being Mexican. I love being Hispanic, and I wanted to come back and give back to the community that gave so much to me, especially my school counselor, Miss Michelle LaBranch at Campbell High School. Um, she honestly changed my life, and I wanted, to make her proud and to hopefully do the same for my students.
And thank you. And I think that really kind of brings us really neatly into that question about mindset. So, what are some of the thoughts, the feelings, and the general mindsets that really helped you when you were in middle school and high school to ultimately get to where you are now?
Okay. So I'm gonna disclose a little bit. I still have my mask. Let me go ahead and take that off. But I'm going to disclose a little about myself to you guys. I was an undocumented student. So in middle school, I did really well in 6th and 7th grade. Then my parents went through, my parents divorced. They went through a divorce in elementary school, but my parents' divorce really hit me hard during my middle school years. That's when I started to really have the negative effects of going through a divorce, my parents' divorce, and just on top of that, all the barriers that I started.
Sweetheart,
That's when we start
sweetheart,
talking about.
Brayden,
That's
take
when
the
we
hand
start
off the
talking
doorknob,
about,
please.
college and what we're going
Thank you.
to do and everything. And I was undocumented, so it was very very hard in middle school for me to kind of really even see a future for myself. So actually it didn't happen until high school. And again, it was teachers, it was my counselor that didn't give up on me and that saw that I had potential. And then friendships, but positive friendships, not friendships that were leading me on and telling me, yeah, why are you going to study? Why are you going to do this? You can't do anything anyways. But friendships that were telling me, you should study. You never know. Things could change in the future. So positive friends and positive adults in my life.
Hmm. Man, I think that's really interesting because I know we have a lot of students who may be struggling with hope and maybe trying to find a reason to continue forward. And what I heard you say is that there was something that allowed you to make it to high school after you went through those challenges with the divorce. And I'm just wondering, when we're talking about skills, a lot of times we talk about study skills or organization skills, but we don't necessarily talk about optimism as a skill or being able to select friends as a skill. And I'm
Mhm.
wondering, what are some of the transferable skills that helped you be successful and even make it to high school to be able to run into your school counselor and to run into the types of friends that help where you are now?
So with those types of skills, like it was just honestly, it was more knowing that I needed to do my work because I did want to pass because there was a part of me that, still cared, even though I might have been showing that I didn't. On the outside, deep inside in my heart, I knew that I wanted something more for myself. So making sure I did my work, I stayed organized, um, knowing to ask for help. I'm big because sometimes you see asking for help as a sign of
I think I
weakness.
just knocked off that our
It's
clock.
actually a sign of strength.
Can
Being
you,
able
I'm
to
sorry, can you hold on
realize,
one, I'm sorry, can you hold on 1 second? Everyone, I'm just gonna put everyone on mute really quickly, and then we're gonna move forward. So hold on. Sorry about this. All right. And you're gonna have to unmute yourself and then we can go forward. Yep.
okay, knowing when to ask for help. I think that's important because sometimes we see that as a sign of weakness and it's not, it's actually a sign of strength. Knowing that you need help, it's a big deal being able to ask for it. And that's definitely a skill that's going to help you as an adult too. I mean, when you're working and everything, knowing that you can ask your colleagues, for help, and not thinking that you can do everything by yourself because sometimes you can't. So that's also really important. And then just being persistent, not letting barriers stop you. If something comes up that, it's like it puts a big stop, figuring out how to go around it so that you can, make it possible. So persistence.
Oh, awesome. And I think it's really important that that piece about asking for help, and also being able to accept help when it's offered. Right? Just a real life moment. Miss Brown definitely just reached out and asked if I need help helping to mute everyone and if I can make her co-host, and being humble enough to say, yes, I do need help. I wish I had asked sooner, but I'm glad that you asked, and then being able to accept that life raft when it's thrown to you, or that lifesaver when it's thrown to you, I think is really challenging sometimes. So how do you get past whatever barriers are in place that sometimes either keep people from asking when they do need it or keep people from accepting it when it's offered when they need it?
I think personally for me, I had to swallow my pride. I had to realize that I couldn't do everything by myself, and that by accepting help, it didn't mean that I was weak. It didn't mean that I couldn't do it. It just meant that I needed somebody, and I needed to allow people in. Because going back talking about being a middle school eighth grader and a high school freshman, I was very hard. I put up a big wall. I had been hurt a lot. I didn't think that asking for help was a sign of strength. I thought it was a sign of weakness, letting people, help me. What? I don't need help. I can do all of this by myself. What are you talking about? So letting go of the pride and realizing that it's okay to let people in and it's okay to let people help you. It's okay to care about other people and it's okay to let people care about you.
um I think that's real. I think sometimes we get the message that we're supposed to be doing it all by ourselves, but humans weren't built that way. We're not wired to be alone. We're social people. And so I think one of the things that you did say earlier is that there are a lot of people who along the way have really helped you. And I'm wondering, um, what was it, right, that helped you make the right choices of who to listen to, who to actually accept help from, who to actually ask for help, who to spend your time around. What were some of the things that help you make the choices that helped you maximize your mindset and all the skills that you were learning along the way?
It was actually the people. It wasn't me. It was the people not giving up on me. Because there was a lot of people that would say, I'll help you. And I was like, yeah, sure you will. And I acted out, I pushed them away. And I was like, yep, there's another one. They didn't even stay around, so much for saying that you cared about me. But it was actually the people that stood around when I acted out, when I pushed them away, when I got angry at them, and they still kept coming back. And I was like, in the world, why are you still coming back? And then I realized, wow, they really do care about me. I need to stop being a hardhead and let them in, and I need to care about them. So specifically my counselor. I remember Ms. LaBranch and I, when she changed my life. So to give you guys a little bit of information, in 9th and 10th grade, again, I'm disclosing, I didn't always go to school. I would skip school, I know, but I always came back and made up my work. So I still passed my classes. And she pulled me in her office and she said, you are too smart to be doing this. You have missed so-and-so days, but how do you still have B's in your classes and C's in some classes and even an A in a class? And I said, and I still remember I said, because I make up my work, duh, I'm not stupid. That's what I said to her. And she was like, nope, I'm changing all of your classes. And I said, what are you talking about? You're changing all of my classes. And she says, you're going to be in honor classes. I said, oh, no, I'm not. I'm not going into those honor classes because I was on all on level classes. And she said, for you to be missing this much school and still having these grades, your schedule is going to change. And I said, well, you need my dad's permission for that. And I'm going to tell him not to do it. She's like, well, too bad, because I already called him and he said it was fine. And I said, and so I was so angry with her for doing this that I actually went back and forth with her, but she changed my schedule. Like she changed my schedule and put me in honor classes my second semester, junior year. And I was so angry and I was going to sabotage myself. I was going to do bad because I was going to prove her wrong, and by doing that, I'm messing myself up, but I wasn't thinking like that. And I remember the bell rang and my friends and I were in the hallway and the warning bell rang. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she changed my schedule. And then one friend said, I know, I don't either. Why would she do that? You're dumb. So why did she put you in those classes? And I still remember that. And something flipped, like a light bulb came on in my head. And I said, well, what? I'm not dumb. What? And I don't know why it impacted me so much, but at that moment, it flipped from proving my counselor wrong to proving him wrong and showing myself that I could do it. So I said, didn't say anything because they all laughed, of course, and I laughed too, because at that moment, you're just like, okay, ha, 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 you're laughing. And I said, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And he doesn't even know it, but he gave me a gift that day by saying that to me, because it gave me the fire that I needed, that extra push that I needed to go into those honor classes. And I made straight A's that semester. And then senior year, she put me in all AP classes and I made straight A's again. And I brought my GPA up to a 3.5 and I graduated with honors. All because this one person, Miss LaBranch, didn't take no from me and didn't take my attitude, and she believed in me. One person made a difference, and now I'm here and I'm Dr. Wynn. So she's amazing.
Man, that's really powerful. I don't know where I want to take it because you said a lot. So what I really hear you speaking to is the power that individuals have to empower others. I heard you speaking to the barriers that you can overcome if you're motivated in the right way. I heard you speaking to making sure that you are choosing the right people to spend your time around. And also, you got to be careful who you communicate what with. Because I wonder what it would have looked like in that moment if you were to to actually tell them, hey, these are my dreams. I am going to prove you wrong. And
Mhm.
every single comment doesn't necessarily require a response. And in that moment, your action spoke louder than anything you probably could have said in that moment anyway. So, I mean, there was just so much. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity to hear about your story and for you to share with other folks. I know that you are a coach, and I'm wondering if we can connect things to what our students are doing now and what they're going to be doing soon in high school. What are some of, I want to talk a little bit more about those transferable skills that you picked up along the way and that you're still using today, stuff that you got in middle and high school. And it can be in a classroom, it can be related to sports, it can be related to just social relationships in general. But I'm wondering, what are some transferable skills that you are still thankful for today that our kids have the opportunity to learn now?
Okay. Um, so I I just think basically kind of like similar to what I said earlier. Just making sure you know how to, prioritize your time, making sure that your organization, all of those things are important. Being on time, being early, starting early, not procrastinating with everything. I mean, those are just different things that are really going to help you um, as you move along. Every grade level into your career, into college, into your job, whichever route it is that you choose to go. Um, and no, I mean, the biggest one that definitely helped me is having like a team, knowing who to go for help, having like a group, your core group that if something happens or you're feeling down or you're feeling just overwhelmed or stressed, this is your people that you're going to go to, that is going to uplift you and it's going to help you out. And just kind of going back to what I was saying about that student that said that to that kid that said that to me, it could have gone another way. I could have believed it. I could have been like, you're right, you know, but I had already heard so much, and the power of words from my counselor of telling me like, you can do this, that it had already kind of shifted my mindset of me thinking maybe I can do this, you know? So when I heard those words, instead of shattering me, it empowered me and made me realize the importance of choosing the people that I hang out with, choosing my friends, choosing who I spend my time with. So again, that goes back to your group, to your core group of individuals. And sometimes you might be the bad friend. You might need to realize that, dang, I'm the bad one. I'm the one making fun of them. I'm the one telling them to skip class and not come to school, or why are you going to do your homework? You also have to look at yourself and realize like, I need to change the way that I think, because I'm portraying these emotions and feelings and I'm telling them not to care, because deep inside, that's how I feel about myself. Like, I don't care about myself. So I need to change that too. And it might take you moving from that group to going to a different group, but realizing that. So that's just really important, especially in middle school right now, going back to your peers, your social interactions, just the people that you hang out with, because they influence you so much, so much.
I'm wondering, personally, when you think back to those relationships that you had in middle and high school, how many of them lasted through college and even up until now? Are you still cool with anyone that you were cool with in middle school or high school?
um Hanging out and talking all the time, no, I'm not. I still talk to them off and on. I still keep in contact with them, especially now with social media and Facebook and everything. I still keep in contact with them, maybe text them once in a while, just saying, hey, how are you, hope things are going well. But as far as like, they were my best friends forever. They we after high school, it just kind of, we still kind of hung out some, but not as much. And so like my core friends, my group of friends are individuals I met now as an adult.
I'm wondering if if you think that's common, right? If you were to poll like 100 people who are adults now, um, just so our kids can kind of hear your
Mhm.
answer, do you think that they would say something similar, or do you think most folks would say, "Nah, I'm still super close with everyone I was tight with in sixth, seventh, and eighth grade"?
I think maybe I'm kind of thinking of like people I know, just from social media and everything and seeing. I think maybe out of everybody, if you pulled them, they would probably still be close, maybe to one or two people, if at all, and then others probably would not be as close. But I don't think that if you guys were like 10 of you were together, I think it's rare. It does happen, I've seen it, but more than likely they might just keep in contact with that one person that they stayed friends with till since they were little. But if not, most of the time you're going to be friends with people that you meet as an adult. That's at least that's what I see more in the people that I know now.
Yeah, one of our teachers said, "I don't even remember anybody from middle school." So part of why I asked that question is because everything seems so big and important and major now. And I know some of our students may not want to hear this, but it is very normal to have really important relationships at one level, and then when you get to the next level, you change, your friends change, and maybe you develop new friends and you develop new interests and you form relationships with people around that stuff. So do you have any advice for people who are dealing with peer pressure now, no, and really dealing and just kind of dealing with the possibility that the people that you're risking your academic success for, you're risking your future for, you're risking your safety for, sometimes may not even be cool with you next year, right? Do you have any advice for people who are trying to make decisions about making friends under those circumstances?
My advice for you would be it's okay to choose yourself first. It's okay to choose yourself first and to love yourself, because a lot of times we put more effort in those friendships or in others, trying to uplift them, trying to make them feel better, trying to make them happy, going along with their decisions, and just suppressing everything that we want for ourselves for the sake of making other people happy. And it's okay for you to say no. I want to put myself first. I want to do this for me. I want to do this for my future. And that's okay. And you do not need to feel guilty about that.
And thank you for that information. And I want to be extra clear in saying that we're not telling you not to be cool with people in middle school. I don't think anyone is telling you that. But if you do choose yourself first, and the people you call friend get upset with you for doing that, then you have to begin to question, what is your definition of friend? What does it mean to be a friend if someone gets mad when you try to make sure that you're taken care of? So I want to spend these last few minutes before we go into Q&A, just really hearing from you about your identity and how it's been to navigate life as someone who is Mexican American, and whatever you want to share with us, I think will really be powerful, because I think it's so important for our students to see people who look like them and to be able to hear from people who have similar experiences. And I know we can learn from anyone, but it's something, there's something about seeing somebody look back at you who resembles the person that you see in the mirror. So tell us about like your like who you count on, who depends on you, who do you depend on now, and what types of groups you belong to that are really important to you that have helped you get to where you are.
So I was born in Mexico. My identity, I'm Mexican, American now. I got my citizenship, so I am a United States citizen now. It was a very long journey, but I came here when I was 5 years old. I came here with my documents and everything on a family passport. Um, and then my passport expired. My parents put in for our paperwork with immigration to make a long story really short for the sake of time. My parents are U.S. citizens, and they put in for us to get our legal status. immigration, it's not how people tell you, at least from my experience, get in line, do this, and then everything will magically work. No, it took over 25 years for me to get my legal status corrected and everything. Immigration lost my paperwork, so it was a lot of tears, just a lot of stuff. And during that time, that's why it made it very difficult for me to really believe that I had a future, and that I was going to be able to go to college, that I was going to be able to work, that I was going to be able to be here right now with you guys talking to you. So, I just had to keep my faith, and I had to keep hope that everything was going to be possible. So because of all of those experiences that I went through, being undocumented, being the one undocumented person in your family, because my parents they got their citizenship, my sisters did too, my brother. It was very scary because instead of me being afraid that my parents were going to be deported, I was afraid that I was going to be deported. I was afraid that I was going to, get snatched up and taken away from my parents and sent back to Mexico where I don't know anybody, because I came here when I was 5. So because of all of those experiences, and especially back then you didn't talk about it, I'm actually just now starting to talk more about this because it was something that we were told you don't talk about. You don't tell anybody anything. You don't draw attention to yourself. Just don't talk about that. And right now, with everything going on, it's brought more to light, and I'm so happy about that. And now we have DACA for our students. Because of all those experiences that I went through, that's why it's so important for me now to really be an advocate for my Hispanic community, for my undocumented students, for my DACA students. That is where my heart is, fighting for them, advocating for them. And I just am so blessed to have a group of colleagues, counselors that I can depend on, that are willing to help me, that are willing to do anything that they can for our students, all of our students also. And then people that I go to for support, my husband, he's amazing. He is my rock. He is my cheerleader. He's anything I need him to be at that moment because he believes in me. And I love him for that. And he's always believed in me. He's always pushed me to be better, and he knows what I'm capable of. And when I'm starting to doubt myself, he reminds me not to doubt myself. My father, he is my backbone. He's so strong, everything that he's overcome, everything that he gave up, because we could have stayed in Mexico. We didn't need to come to the United States. My dad was in college. My dad was actually valedictorian of his high school, and he didn't tell me. My aunt told me because he was too humble for, to say all of that. So we were good, but he knew that if he came to the United States, we would be better because of his kids would have a better opportunity to have a better education. So, I'm grateful for all of that. And I'm sorry, John, what was the other question?
Don't even worry about it. You answered it. Don't even worry about it. I wanted to open up the floor for questions. I know we have one. Did you miss your friends from elementary school? I do, because they're true friends. So do you miss your elementary school friends?
I actually, because when you stay in one county, I guess, and you follow the feeder pattern, I went to Brown, to Griffin, to Campbell. So, and now that we have, I know Facebook is for, my kids say that's for old people. We're all friends on Facebook, so I can see them there, and they're my Facebook friends, but they're not my friends. We don't hang out, we don't call each other on the phone. So I get to see them and see their families, and that's really nice that I'm still able to do that.
Awesome. Do we have any other questions from the audience? And you can either come off mute or you can put your questions in the chat. So I'm wondering, as you have navigated all of this, if you could say one thing that's allowed you to really kind of push through the hard times, right? Because we know our students are going through hard times. They're having to make hard decisions. We're all going through a pandemic. I think I'm wondering why keep going, right? What made you keep going that you would like to communicate to the students, and why should they keep going?
So when I was younger, my why I decided to keep going, I would have to say that I wanted to make my family proud. I wanted to make my dad proud. When my parents divorced, I lived with my dad. So that's why I'm speaking a lot about my dad, because I stayed with my dad. So he worked 2 jobs and barely got to see him, because he went to work, came home, showered, slept a little, and then went back out to work. So I just saw how much he did for us and everything that he went through. And so I grabbed onto him, and he became my why. He became my why as to why I want to be better, why I want to be successful, why I'm going to be successful. So I grabbed onto him, and I wanted to make him proud. I wanted him to see me walk, across that stage and graduate, and one day say, you know what, this is what I always wanted to say. And I'm able to do it now. Say, you know what, you don't have to worry about your mortgage this month. I got you. You don't have to work. And especially right now through the pandemic, he's not working. We got him. My siblings and I got him. We're paying his bills, because we don't want, my dad's a taxi driver now, and he doesn't need to be out there driving a taxi with this pandemic. And especially if we're able and blessed enough to help him out. So he became our why. Now, as an adult, how I keep pushing is my students. I'm here for you guys, my family, my kids, but my students are my family. And I'm here and I'm telling my story and I'm pushing through. And when I just want to give up, I remember how it was to be a middle school student, a high school student, and how I needed that person. And I want to be that person for you guys.
I just want to say thank you for being vulnerable with us today, for sharing your story. And I really got a lot out of it, and I'm hoping that, our students and staff did as well. So everyone, please make sure that you remember your why, because when it gets hard, you're not always going to want to do what you have to do to be successful. But if you remember your why you started on that journey, that can help ensure that you actually make it to the end of that journey, and that you can do many more things after that, right? So thank you, Dr. Wynn. Everyone, remember, we have the Jobs and Opportunities Fair coming up. I put the link in the chat. Make sure you sign up immediately. The first 100 people who do sign up will be eligible for a raffle, and you have to be present to win. And I'm really excited. If you enjoyed today, make sure you do sign up for the Jobs and Opportunities Fair. And yeah, thank you all for jumping on. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me, and I can connect you with Dr. Wynn. So
thank you so much for inviting me, and all of you, thank you so much for being here today. It really means a lot.
Thank you, Dr. Wynn.
Thank you.
I have a great rest of the day.